We're the Starks. I'm Tyra.
I'm Darius.
And this is our YouTube, my YouTube, featuring Darius a lot of times. But we wanted to come on here. We've been married for 5 months now.
It's been a minute.
5 months. July 30th, 2022. And so on my YouTube channel, Instagram channel, sorry. I put on my story what you guys would like to see, and I had a couple of options. So the winner of that option was expectations versus reality during our marriage for the past 5 months. So I did want to kind of touch on living together, our expectations versus our reality with that. So did you want to start, or do you want to start with that? Like, what was your don't do that. What was your expectation versus reality? And keep it nice.
Expectations?
Yes.
I'm not really sure. I'll probably say,
like, what did you think? How we were going to mesh, maybe, or how you think the experience was going to go?
I thought at first, I kind of knew it was going to be chaotic. To be honest, because she the extrovert, I'm the introvert, so it's kind of like, and I'm not really, I mean, used to like my own space, and then like when you come into a marriage, it's kind of like, okay, you can't really have your own space no more. Mm-hmm. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying, share that with your other spouse.
With your spouse, not other spouse.
Well, yeah, with your spouse. You gotta share that with your spouse, you know what I'm saying, make sure that they are priority. Basically, in marriage, you can't be selfish. That's basically what I learned.
Yeah, I think for me, before we moved in together, I honestly thought it was just going to be a piece of cake. Mm-hmm. I was like, Darius, you know, I've seen how he lives. I saw how he kept his room at his house, very clean. Me, like, you know, I'm kind of a neat freak. He is too. So I was like, we're going to definitely mesh. But honestly, it was like reality. It was an adjustment for sure. I think because I had lived by myself for 2 years. Yeah. And so me just coming into it, I had to turn off what I wanted the house to look like and make it a we thing. Yeah, because I was under the impression that honestly, Darius is just going to go whatever I want to do. And then I learned quickly, no, he's very opinionated as well. And so two opinionated people coming together, bringing all their stuff from his house, all the stuff from my house, and bringing it together, it was a little chaotic. And I was a little frustrated. Like, why is this here? Why do you want this? Why can't I put this picture here? Or, you know, picking out bed covers and things like that. And it was like, no, Tyra, you are not by yourself anymore. And I think it was just because I had lived by myself for 2 years. I just kind of already had my own method of doing things and my own flow of doing stuff. So it was kind of hard for me to just kind of change. Change in general is very hard for me. So that transition to moving in together.
That independency is real.
Yes. And I think because we were not shocking before we got married. So I knew it was going to maybe be a little challenging, an adjustment, but I didn't think it would be as a challenge that it was in the beginning.
I mean, now it's all straight now.
Yeah.
We know, after these 5 months, we kind of know the basis of what we like, what we don't like. You know what I'm saying? Our attitudes, mood swings, and stuff like that. So
yeah.
It gotten a lot easier than it did in the first, couple weeks, first month.
Yeah, after the honeymoon is over, we came back home. We were like, all right, we got to make it ours. And so that first grocery store bill was crazy, because it was like, I don't eat this brand, I don't like this brand. Like, Darius likes grape jelly, I like strawberry jelly. So
whoever eats strawberry, y'all nasty, man. That thing is gross.
I like both, but I mean, if I just had to buy one of them, it would be strawberry, but I would eat both. No, it's not. But anyway, don't do us. But so that first grocery bill was a lot, because it was like, we were getting stuff, same thing, different brand. And then after a while, we're like, yeah, babe, we can't do this. So we had to compromise on a lot of stuff. Okay, this time we'll get strawberry jelly. Okay, this time we're going to get grape jelly. Like, the next time we'll go to the store. So a lot of compromise. But in a blessing way. You know, I think we hear the word compromise, and I think it's like a curse word, you know, to some people.
People feel like you're giving up yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to do that in this generation.
Yeah. And it's not that. I mean, I'm not the best explainer, but honestly, like when we're in the store, it goes both ways. There's some things that he'll go without so that I can have something, or I'll go without so he can have something, or we'll both go without so that we can put it towards something better in the future. Like recently, you know, God bless us with a new car. Realistically speaking, Darius probably needed the car more than I did for me to drive it, but that's just compromise. Like, okay, right now he got to make sure his wife is taken care of, and then in a couple of years, okay, I'll get it. So, you know, compromise is honestly, it's not a selfish thing. It's for the betterment of the relationship. And marriage is a beautiful thing that God ordained. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into that. That's another video. But compromise is not a curse word, y'all. We got to get out of that mentality. So the second expectation versus reality, I would say being intentional with dating time, being like planning, if I'm making sense. So
planning what?
Being together, like a date night, because I think my expectation was we're always going to have time to have lovey-dovey. We're always going to have time for date nights. We could just go whenever we want.
I kind of knew that was going to be tough because our jobs.
Yeah.
My job is like kind of demanding. Well, I won't say kind of.
Very
demanding.
Yeah.
Because I deal with juveniles. So like sometimes we have to stay late. Like to even talk to the boys and handle people.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying, when I get home, sometimes she wants to cuddle or watch a movie, sometimes I just want to relax.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Because my job is demanding too. I'm a teacher, middle school teacher, 6th grade. So I have like over 150 students. And so there's some days I'll come home and I think Darius wants to be lovey-dovey, you know what I'm talking about. And then there are days where I'm like, I'm drained, you know. And so I think going into the marriage, I was like, we're going to be full energy all the time, like on 10 every single day. And then once we came back from the honeymoon and real life started to happen, I was like, I need to be more intentional about spending time with Darius. And yes, we live together. We see each other every single day. We see each other when we wake up, when we go to sleep. But it's still something about that quality time, uninterrupted, that was my reality. And I was like, oh, I have to really put in effort.
And that's what happens when you, after the honeymoon. I feel like the honeymoon is like you in heaven. And then you come back to earth
like,
for after a week. And I'm like, dog, bro. Like, all the time I thought we was going to have all this stuff that people in movies say, fairy tale stuff.
Yeah.
It's like gone when you come back to reality.
Well, not gone.
I wouldn't say gone, but I would say like
dang.
I would like, don't get me wrong, like the love and everything is always gonna be there.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like time,
yeah,
preparation, making sure, you know what I'm saying, you doing your wifely and husband duties.
Right.
And making sure you sacrificing enough to not only please your partner, but most sort of, I feel like you kind of please yourself a little bit too.
Well, I will say, as soon as I feel like we said I do at the altar, the enemy tried us big time.
Facts.
Like,
that joke was crazy.
Yeah, and I think it's just because we are meant for each other. God ordained this, and so the enemy was really trying.
Impactful people.
Yeah.
And when two impactful people come together, that's what the Lord, the enemy doesn't like.
It doesn't like it at all.
He's gonna do whatever he can. He's gonna try to wiggle his way in the marriage.
Yeah.
Try to get you to not like each other, not like each other.
Yeah, and the enemy really tried to attack us early on, and so that's how I knew I married the right man, because honestly, like, God is in this, and so the enemy can't stand it, and so he tries to like throw us off course like a lot. And so that's what kind of brings me back to like the intentionality, and being intentional about spending time, and not only with you. I think too, what was a realization to me is I've got to start planning and being intentional about spending time with the Lord, because you know, when we were single, as in we weren't married yet and we were living separately, it seemed like we had all the time in the world. Like, all right, man, I'm gonna call you back. I want to spend time with the Lord for a couple of hours, you know, whatever. And then, but when you get married, life just starts being so busy and like working, making sure, like you said, we're doing our wifely and husband duties. And then after a while, I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't picked up my Bible in like a week, you know, and so I forgot the scripture, but once I edit this video and I'll add it on there is a scripture when the Apostle Paul is talking about like being grateful for your singleness, because you don't have to separate that time, you know, with everything that you, being a parent, being a spouse, like doing stuff for your church, pretty much. It's like you are only focused on God. And so for my singles out there, embrace your singleness, because when you get married, your time does get divided, and you have to kind of wheel it back in, and you're like,
that's basic. I feel like a marriage kind of shows what your relationship is with Christ. If you're not really like trying to get before God in marriage, then how your marriage gonna succeed? You know,
right? That's deep, babe. Love that.
I was deep.
Yeah. So the third one, will probably be the last one, just because I want to make the video too long. But I would say, since we were so fresh, like we did our premarital counseling, and then like 2 weeks later,
shout out
we
to
got
PK,
married.
Pastor Corey. That thing was long, sir, but we got through it.
Very long, but it was great.
Yes.
Definitely highly recommend premarital counseling. So I think for me, when we keep, like, maybe not our first big argument, but kind of small disagreements, in my head I'm like, oh, we're still fresh from premarital counseling, I'm gonna already know what to do off of it. I remember everything. But the reality of it is that we had to go back to those notes. What were the main four principles of communication? What were, you know, proper timing when we're communicating? Like, things like that, I felt like I automatically would have known, but we had to go back to our notes and remember the things that we learned. What would you say?
Sacrificing your will so that the marriage can, you know, progress.
It's kind of like
with God.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like with God. We wake up every morning with the decision that I'm going to choose the Lord. I'm going to serve God. I'm going to be a Christian.
Flesh gets in the way. And you know, that's why God said we have to daily kill our flesh, so that we can continue to do what He called us to do. Because it's easy, if we get within ourselves, it's easy to do our stuff, but is it going to be impactful?
When, you know, we're trying to pay off, well, we did pay off credit card debt this year. And that was, you know, you like as the husband, he's hearing from the Lord, asked to lead our family. You know, we couldn't spend. It was a lot of people we said no to. Like, y'all want to hang out? No. If it requires money. You want to go on this trip? No. Because we have a goal set.
Also learn how to say no, everybody.
Yes.
You don't have to follow the crowd. If God's trying to tell you to do something, do what He's telling you to do.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's going to be a reward at the end.
And it was hard for me to say no a lot. But Darius helped me with that. And, like, you know, we have a goal. We want to pay this credit card bill off. So
I learned that from my parents, because my dad would always tell me no, so I was like,
yeah.
And it's kind of like, if you become a yes man, it'll be easy for you to be manipulated.
And in the end, we paid it all. So the sacrifices were worth it. We could be outside now.
2 cars coming soon.
Well, we have 2 cars now.
Well, you got one, but
we have, but you have a car, I have a car, so it's 2 cars. He wants a new car. Yes. We want a house.
House is coming soon.
The house is coming soon. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all we have to say. We wanted to keep it short and simple. We love you guys.
Let us know if you have any other questions or things you want us to talk about.
I did my makeup pretty
well. Whether if it's the Lord, whether if it's clothing. Oh yeah, Vision Walk clothing coming soon. Your boy got a new merch. This is not the merch, but I'm just saying, I'm just touching my jacket. But I have Vision Walk. My clothing line called Vision Walk Clothing, coming soon, 2023. Look out.
Amen. Well, we love you guys. Have a wonderful and blessed new year.
Happy New Year, y'all.